Hello and welcome to Okube, an organization building open source solutions for data intelligence. Today we go over Databricks Volumes, a secure way of accessing cloud storage files from your Databricks workspace. For longtime Databricks users, that may sound a lot like Mount Points, and you would be right in both cases. The main objective is to equip your notebooks, jobs, and pipelines with an access to general-purpose files managed outside of Databricks. A typical use case would be a landing bucket, receiving data event files and feeding a data pipeline. The key differentiator of Volumes is its integration with Unity Catalog. Each volume is a secureable object that can be subjected to the same grants as any other object, such as a table or a schema, whereas amount access privileges were coupled to a specific compute. Volumes access privileges are granted directly to a user or a group of users. Let's explore how we can create one and use it to read data from a notebook. But before we do, if you want to ramp up your data and AI engineering game, make sure to like and subscribe. For this demo, we will be using Azure Cloud, but the same principles would apply for AWS or GCP. First, let's explore the storage account storing data we want to access using Volumes. The landing container stores multiple event files generated by various producers. Today, we will be especially interested in the stock prices generated by Yahoo Finance. Here we see a bunch of JSON files, each one storing stock prices for a specific company. These are the files we will want to access within our workspace. Before jumping into Databricks, there are a few things to set up in Azure to allow our workspace to interact with the storage container. We first need to set up an access connector in Azure. The access connector is created as a resource. We will simply call it Demo Access Connector. Someone using AWS would instead need to create an IAM role. Once the connector is ready, we need to give it access to our storage container. This is done by adding a role assignment in the access control configuration. There are a couple of options for the selected role, but we generally recommend to use Storage Blob Data Contributor. Even if you are planning the volume mostly for reading data, write access is also required to support operations like schema audit detection with Spark. When setting assign access to, pick the Managed Identity option and select Access Connector for Azure Databricks from the System Assigned Identities. We now have created a secure access to our storage and can head over to Databricks to set up the volume. The configuration of the volume starts in the external data panel and consists of 3 steps: creation of a storage credentials, creation of an external location, and finally creation of the volume itself. Starting with the storage credential, we select Azure Managed Identity, give it a name like Demo Landing Credential, and copy the ID of the previously created connector. Now that we have our credential ready, we will set up an external location named Demo Landing Location. When selecting the credential, simply pick Demo Landing Credentials from the drop-down menu. Follow the instruction to build the URL, using the storage account and container names. At this point, you can test your connection to the external location. Alright, we are now finally ready to create the volume. As mentioned previously, a volume is a secureable object of a Unity catalog and lives at the same level as a table. For our example, we create a sources schema inside the demo catalog. As you can see from the UI, A schema can store not only tables, but also volumes, models, and functions. Let's create the landing volume, selecting the previously defined external location. Exploring the files in the volume is now possible directly from the workspace. As you can see, they are exactly the same as the ones in the cloud storage. As mentioned earlier, one of the main benefits of using volumes is the ability to set grants for all files stored in that volume. Let's go ahead and create a read access for all users and a write access for workspace admins. We are now ready to use our landing volume. Let's create a notebook and read the content. First, we use Databricks utilities to see if we can list the files available in the volume. With that being confirmed, let's try something more interesting. This time, we use a Spark command to read all files within the stock prices folder as a single data frame. Success! We now have been able to not only read the data from a cloud storage, but also to use it to build a data frame. Obviously, this is a simple example, but the volume can now be used in jobs and pipelines to create comprehensive datasets. With grants, it's super easy and secure to manage access. This concludes our demo on Databricks Volume. We hope it was helpful. Are you already using volumes, or are you planning on using them soon? Let us know in the comments below, and see you next time.